Okay, so in yesterday's video I was talking about sharpening the chain. Okay, so we can obviously see this chain has got some burrs and the angle is a bit off on the opposite tooth. Okay, now you can see my rakers are down a bit. I didn't do this chain. This was one off my father's saw. I'm just using it as an example for myself. So obviously it needs to be sharpened. I will show you the result after, but there's 3 angles you want to look for while sharpening. This angle right here, see this little curve here? That's actually a cutting angle. That actually does cut. Your second angle is the top of the tooth here, of course. That is your other angle. And the third angle is going to be how the file lays on the chain. You always want to try to match the existing angle, basically, as far as the way this is tilted, which is hard to do if you're a beginner at it, but with experience and practice, great things shall come to you. So I'll do a couple teeth and I'll show you the afters. As you can see, there's chunks, like little chunks taken out of the tips of these teeth. Okay, now we have a nice shiny tooth. There's no kerf rolled up on top of the tooth here. You don't see any kerf. You still see a little bit of nickage from whatever he hit, but there's no kerf, which is a good sign. One other thing to mention, now that I'm here and you're noticing that I've touched this second, or the center link that holds the chain together. Okay, now let's look at the other side. Do you see that height difference now between this tooth in this section here and the one we had just sharpened? That's gonna make a huge difference on whether your saw cuts straight or not. Some guys, you get the teeth sharp, you get the rakers just right, the bar don't have no little burrs on the end of it, like kind of like this one's starting to get, and the damn thing's still cutting crooked. Well, maybe you should check that. You want them even, more or less. You don't want one extremely higher than the other, or vice versa. You want to try to keep them even. So, with that said, I'm going to sharpen a few more and I will show you the results. Okay, so we did a few more teeth. Alright, let's see here. Can we focus? No kerf on top of the tooth, which is what you want to look for. Burrs are okay. Even if you get yourself a nice 50% of this edge where it's nice and clean, where you don't see that silver line I was speaking about yesterday, it'll still cut. Now, as far as this angle here, now we see this tooth on the other side has an opposite angle opposed to this. So it's not, it's exact 28 degrees or whatever it is the factory spec of this chain was. To fix that, very easy, but it does take some meat off the chain. You can go at more of an aggressive angle like this and give your tooth that line kind of like that. The chain will cut quicker, but please, please, please take care and wear your safety equipment, wear your chaps. If you've never done this before, I recommend watching a few other videos and getting yourself some safety gear. Myself, I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I'm now 37. So I'm passing this experience on to you, some of you younger generations. Keep a lookout for more videos in the future. And I will show you the end result of this fixed angles here, because this tooth and this tooth are way off and way different, and their speed that they cut are going to be dramatically different, which will probably result in me having a chain that cuts crooked if I don't fix it. Quick example as I'm running through these teeth here. You see the big chunk taken out of this tooth in the center? Well, that doesn't necessarily have to go away for it to cut good again. You can kind of leave it as is, except for giving it the same amount of strokes as you did your previous teeth, which is one other thing I forgot to mention in my first video. The idea is to keep the amount of strokes the same from one side to the next and from one tooth to the next. What do I mean by that? Well, you do 5 strokes on one tooth and your next tooth looks like this, and you're saying, well, hey, maybe I should really just sharpen this up to a clean edge. It's not such a great idea, because then you're left with that tooth being that much shorter, and not that shorter teeth create that much of a difference, but you will notice a difference in cutting speed and how straight it cuts. Okay, here is another kind of example, I guess you could say. Let's see if she'll focus. Come on now. Camera is not liking me right now. Little view of our wood operation here. We got the processor. We stack our wooden baskets for the Jewish community. But let's see. Focus. Focus, Danielson. Concentrate. Focus power. Anyway, it's not showing you what I want to show you, so for discussion's sake, you have a slightly rounded tip on your tooth. This thing is terrible. You have a slightly rounded tip on your tooth. It's not detrimental that you take that away. You can get it on the next sharpening. Your main idea is to get the teeth all even and mostly sharp. If there's bad damage, you may need up to 10 to 15 strokes to straighten the teeth out, or tooth out. But remember, you want to do that on every single tooth on the chain. Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your 2022. Stay warm, and we'll see you again. Like and subscribe for more.